So we've been doing a lot of thinking about how to intentionally define and articulate the work that we're trying to do as an institution. And so we've been thinking very broadly as equity, inclusion, access, anti-racism, and educational justice. And that helps us move across the entire institution and also think about our incoming students and our alumni population and the Lewiston community. But everyone intersects with all of those pieces. And at the end of the day, what we're really trying to achieve is to make sure that everyone who comes to Bates College feels welcome, wanted, valued, and physically safe. This work is very important to Bates. And when I was coming to Bates College, one of the reasons I chose to come here was around how important this founding narrative was to the community. We are proud to be founded by Free Will Baptists who were involved in the abolitionist movement, and the founding principles of the college actually spoke to including all people, regardless of race, gender, and sex. And it's aspirational. We have a lot of work to do there, and it takes all of us to do that work. But it is something that guides us in the direction that we want to go. So this work is really important to us because that's who we want to become, and that's how we want everyone who interacts with us and spends time here to experience Bates College. All students here are expected to engage with equity, inclusion, access, anti-racism, and educational justice work because it takes all of us to do that work. We all bring very special parts of ourselves to a community like Bates, and we also bring things that we are working on developing, or maybe we don't even know yet. So everybody has to show up, and everybody has to kind of dig into the work. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, and sometimes it's so very rewarding. But at the end of the day, if we know that we've made Bates College a place that people want to be and people want to return to, then we know that we have done that work. And it takes everybody to do that heavy lifting. The ways in which students get involved in this work, in the life of the college, and helping us reach a place where belonging is central to how people experience Bates College is first and foremost showing up. And it's one of the things I'm proudest of Bates College around. We show up in person, we show up for programming, and since we've gone remote, we also show up really well in the virtual space. And so students should start looking for opportunities to participate in programs, opportunities to lead programs, helping people like me figure out what's missing in our Bates community that students are looking for. And when we ask them to fill out surveys or to give us feedback, we hope that they do that because that's how we make sure that we're meeting the needs of all of our community members. Students can get involved through campus activities, student life, in their residence halls, in the Office of Intercultural Education, and sometimes we just connect with different faculty and staff who have opportunities for us. A lot of our students do this work in class through their senior thesis, and many of our first year students will have the opportunity to do this work right in their first year seminars. We are currently doing anti-racism work at a level that we have not done it in the recent past. I've only been here just over a year, so I'm new also. And in the last couple of months, we've been doing a lot of work around reading, talking, training, and development. And our students went ahead and created some amazing platforms for folks to engage and also to do some fundraising for the local community and across the national community around making both Bates, Maine, and our country anti-racist. It's a willful and intentional turn to pay attention and to contribute and participate in anti-racist work. And what we know is anti-racism and anti-racist work actually benefits all of us. Racism hurts everyone. It's particularly impactful on Black, Indigenous people of color, but it's something that keeps communities from growing and moving forward. So we all actually have a reason to be invested in this work, and we are doing our part in making sure folks have an access point to that work. One of the reasons I joined Bates College is because they already had such a great footprint around space, place, and people who could support students who are underrepresented, marginalized, minoritized, first students in their family to go to college. One of the places that I think I'm most excited about, I personally supervise, is the Office of Intercultural Education. And our students of color, our LGBTQAIP2+ students, and our first generation to college students often find a home here. We do a lot of programming, we do a lot of student support. But I would also say if students don't find their way here, they can also find that kind of support in our athletics department, in our campus activities office, in their residence halls, and in their classrooms. It is a particularly collaborative effort to make sure that students have that kind of support in every area of their life and being at Bates College. So we have a couple programs that help support our LGBTQAIP2+ students. We have peer mentors here. We have a program called Spark that runs out of the Office of Intercultural Education. And we do training and development out of the Office of Equity and Inclusion to help the broader campus community be more aware and be more supportive of folks in that population. We also have faculty and staff who share that identity, who spend a good deal of time working directly with students. Students are also really comfortable coming into the Office of Intercultural Education and having those conversations with me. So when we're thinking about the programming of equity, inclusion, access, anti-racism, and educational justice, in a world where we're fighting against COVID-19 and financial recession, and joining in the efforts around Black lives and making sure that they are valued and that they matter in the United States and at Bates College, and then thinking about doing all of that virtually. We've had a little practice since March, and what I'm excited to say is that the programming actually has doubled, and folks have been showing up. There was something about being in a virtual space and wanting to connect with each other and then wanting to connect around this work. So we have been doing lots of conversations about race, book talks and discussions and webinars with our community. And our students have been doing IG Lives and interviews with faculty and staff. And that programming will continue through the fall. So folks will get an opportunity to join anything that they would like virtually, make requests around things they'd like to see us program towards, and then hopefully as soon as possible, we'll get an opportunity to be in person and do that work. We'll be doing peer training so that we have peer facilitators on the campus who will continue those conversations in that programming. And we have a brand new inaugural Director of Equity and Inclusion Education who's really excited about bringing her skills to the institution and helping students, faculty, and staff program in ways that are both measurable, accessible, and substantive. But the work is everywhere, online and in person, and I'm really hoping folks show up and join us this year. We hold our students particularly responsible in an ongoing way to be mindful of how they engage each other and to seek out the resources and opportunities that help them develop as people around equity and inclusion, around feeling welcome, around generating a sense of belonging. The great thing about college and the great thing about being a first-year student is you get an opportunity to figure out who you are now, who you want to become, and what kind of impact you want in the world. And your classmates, faculty, and staff really help shape that. You're going to see folks you've never met before, cultures you've never experienced before, and identities that you may not come into Bates College understanding, but by exposing yourself to things and showing up for these conversations and getting to know the people around you and getting to know what they need to feel safe and welcome in the space that you occupy together, that's what you're responsible for. So I think that our students do a really decent job reaching out to each other. We're all human, we make mistakes, and college is an amazing place to try and figure out how to have a better impact on people who are different than us. A lot of students will tell you that difference is what makes us better, and feeling challenged and uncomfortable is not a bad thing, and doing the work of putting things down that don't serve us in this community is a way forward. So students are held responsible for all of that, for learning enough about themselves that they can learn about other people and learn about their impact on other people. And most of our students end up really feeling like they want to contribute to Bates and the world being a better place for everyone. So I think we have one of the greatest support systems of any of the colleges that I've worked at. We all spend a lot of time doing training, self-reflection, developing ourselves as practitioners, and also learning about our students. And each incoming cohort brings new identities, new cultural backgrounds, new nationalities to Bates College. And so we hold ourselves responsible for that. But we do it in such a way that students should be able to walk into any office on campus and actually find a person who cares about what they're thinking about, who wants to help, and can lead them to the right resources. For issues of equity and inclusion, access, anti-racism, and educational justice, the Dean of Faculty's office is receptive and amazing in doing that work, really thinking deeply about the curriculum and student experiences in the classroom. I do that work and think about all the spaces on campus that students occupy and what those interactions look like and how to make them better. The Office of Intercultural Education creates space where students can come in and talk to other students who are thinking about the same things or might share some of those identities and experiences, or for folks who just want to be in a more diverse space than they've been in before. And student affairs and athletics. Everyone is working really, really hard so that students have both a consistent experience, but recognize that we care and we can get them to the right answer. So if you need anything, knock on a door, and the person behind that door is going to help you. Race and racism exist. It's very clear in the United States that we are looking at this. There's a call for us to do something about race and racism and the experiences of Black, Indigenous, and people of color, especially on our college campuses. And so I want you to know that we are thinking about that, and we have actively started to plan ways to make sure that both students have good experiences here, that Black, Indigenous, people of color, first-year students feel supported and welcome here, and that the active work of interrogating and deconstructing the ways in which Bates College is contributing to race, racism, and white supremacy is something that we're not afraid to do and that we're taking head on. Students have a lot of opportunities coming up to participate in that, to help us frame how that work looks moving forward. We're developing a student advisory committee in the Office of Intercultural Education that will really help guide the work in the ways that students want to see the work done. Please join us.